So there's a guy named Richard Lenski, and he has devoted his life to reproducing bacteria. And he's gone through more than 70,000 generations of E. coli bacteria in a lab. Every day they go in and they transfer some to another little vial, and it grows 7 generations, and they transfer it and they transfer it. And his goal was to show the evolution that goes on in that situation. And when he got to about 33,000 generations, took over 10 years, and he had to grow 10 trillion bacteria to do that, suddenly the bacteria developed the ability to eat something called citrate. So it's a molecule that was in their little bath, and they hadn't before used that as an energy source. All of a sudden, they got twice the food in the bath, and they took over, and they were like, awesome! And it was a big deal. And Richard Dawkins, this is in the book, The Blind Watchmaker, a quote from him. He said, "This is a beautiful demonstration of evolution in action. It's new information entering genomes and combinations of new genes." And that's exactly what he wanted it to be. The problem is he actually wrote that book, and it was published before they did the genetic analysis. So you could take the bacteria after 33,000 generations and analyze the DNA and look at it, and take the original DNA from generation number 1 and pull them together and look at it and say, what has changed here? And it turned out, these 2 papers show it in detail, but one gene that already existed was duplicated. It's just copied over here instead of over there. They have 2 copies now. And another gene, the bacteria lost control over when it was used. It was only used previously if there was no oxygen around. It would turn on that gene. Now it turns it on all the time. So it lost control over when to turn it on. And hopefully you get it. What I'm saying here is that there's not a lot of new information. There's no new genes. It's the same information. It just got, one part was broken and one part was copied. And so I think Richard Dawkins got this pretty wrong. And it's actually, the key part of this is that this meets all the criteria for high confidence. It's repeatable. It's prospectively designed. It's directly measured. You take the DNA here, and look at it, bias and assumptions. And so the high confidence evidence in this big study is telling us that evolution is pretty constrained, right? After 70,000 generations, which would be something like 2 million years of human, generations. And not much important has changed in there. Most of what changed actually is things going downhill, things falling apart.